What is going on, YouTube? I'm bringing you my first place Gold Pride Punk deck profile, and thank God to the Kali effect. He's allowing me to do this on stream as well, so if you're catching this live, thank you. But we're gonna go ahead and get right on into it because, you know, it's just a little bit of spice. This deck is really fun. I'm not gonna even play around. Like, this deck is so fun to play. I enjoy it way too much. So we're gonna start out. We're playing 3 Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune is the bread, the butter of everything. It facilitates so much. It's not even funny. This card will allow you to summon any non-level 8 punk from your deck, as long as you can discard an extra card on resolution, or you can just make it a big old beater to be able to synchro with, or just use it to make rank 8 plays. Link off. This deck does so much. Ogre Dance is another searcher of your deck. It is another level 8. Its first effect isn't as used, but you know, it facilitates so much. It baits Ash. It baits so many hand traps. So like, the card's so good. 3 Xiamen, probably the second best baby punk. And the only reason why I say that is because the next one that's coming up facilitates everything of this deck and allows so much interruption. It's not even funny. And that is going to be Shirikuzai. I'm playing 2 copies of the Shirikuzai because you want to see it as often as possible. And there's times that seeing the second one is pretty big. You might not use it for a second fusion because you can't really recycle the Rising Carp, but you will use it for a second Synchro Summon if the game is going that long, which means that you've Giant Trinated your opponent twice. So, yeah. Then I'm playing 1 copy of Madam Spider and 1 copy of Wagon for the rest of the baby punks. It's just a free terraforming and like a trap search. So basically you get an imperm and a pop for free at just paying the cost of your life points, which is everything you want this deck to do, because of Psychic and Punisher pretty much. Then for the last punk that we play, we're playing 2 Deer Note. Deer Note is everything in this deck. It allows you to not only summon back a free baby punk, but it also allows you to make your level 8 synchros, and because you're getting back a baby punk, you can also make a level 11 synchro as well, or they're forced to stop it because you're chain blocking your Jam Dragon Drive with this. So it allows you to see so much more advantage because of its effect. Either you're gonna get a monster and a search, or you're at least going to waste a hand trap and get a search. We were playing 2 Extreme Sessions. The card is so easily searched that I don't think you need to play any more than this. I generally never miss it, even if I don't see it. The only time that you really honestly want it is all the time. But it is not gonna hurt you if you don't see it entirely. You can still make combo and be fine. It'll just be a little bit more bare minimum because you won't be able to draw and summon an extra punk for free. For the traps, I am playing 2 Dangerous Gabu. Because I'm not playing Imperm, I think Dangerous Gabu is good at 2. If I was playing Imperm, I would consider cutting this down to 1, but a lot of times I also do end up siding out the second Dangerous Gabu, so it's not bad to play 2, because then you're not worried about a flex spot in your deck. You can just get rid of the card and still be able to search a copy of it. So, and then we play 1 National Warrior Surprise. National Warrior Surprise is it's a spot removal. As long as you control a punk, it'll pop a face up or face down card. If you don't control a punk, it will just destroy 1 set card your opponent controls. A lot of times, even that effect is just good enough on its own. Onto the Gold Pride part of the deck. We playing 3 Captain Carries. Captain Carry, I feel, is a little bit more important in this build versus the Leon or the Nitro Head. As good as Nitro Head is, I am considering bumping it up, but I will explain why I play 2. Captain Carry searches you the trap, which facilitates more combo on your opponent's turn and a free destruction as well. Leon, you can summon at any time to get back your Gold Pride, so I don't feel like you need it. Plus, it is recycled through Star Leon. Nitro Head is also recycled through the Link, so playing more than 2 isn't needed, but a lot of times you want to see the Nitro Head for Kashtira matchup. As soon as you give them a token, they're pretty much donezo. If they cannot get rid of that token, they pretty much lost. That's exactly how I won one of my games. I gave my Kashtira opponent a token, he couldn't break it, and he literally scooped it up in 5 seconds. I mean, game 1 was literally all of 5 seconds. And then the reason why I only also play 2 and 2 is because they're easily searched through the Crowd Goes Wild. The Crowd Goes Wild allows you to reveal one of the Gold Pride monsters and then search a Gold Pride monster and then special summon any Gold Pride monster from your hand, but the side is that you have to take the attack as damage, and you're playing Punk, so you kind of actually want that a lot of times. There was a game that I summoned Nitro Head off of this, made myself 900, and made Psychic and Punisher so big that it one-shotted my opponent over his monster. Let that sink in. I am playing one Start Your Engines. This is the free destruction and summon of a Gold Pride. There's been times that I have summoned Leon off of this, which allows me to summon Nitro Head, which then allows me to synchro summon into Psychic and Punisher, or an Amazing Dragon if I don't have that combo already going for me. Like, they get, like, let's say they Lava Gold on the Shirikuzai and something else, I can just use Leon and Nitro Head to summon it. So, we're never punished in that aspect. Moving on to more generic and hand traps, I'm playing 3 Fenrir. Fenrir allows you to make Verone. It also checks a lot of cards that your opponent might be playing. There's times that I'll just summon this, attack, and get rid of like a planet or just anything that they might have that they can't like generally stop this. For the hand traps, I am playing 2 Nibiru. Cards do good. Kashtira loses to Nibiru on its own. Sword Soul loses really hard to Nibiru, but they can still play through it. And quite a few other decks are just summoning more than 5 times, such as like Marine Cess, or even there's quite a few decks. I'm also playing 2 Ash Blossoms. The card is really good. It's too good not to play. I know this isn't a hand trap based version, but the cards are way too good. And then we play 1 Ghost Ogre. I have actually sided this card out because there's decks that you don't really need it for, but it is so searchable through Jam, Drag, and Drive that there is no reason not to play it. And the card can get rid of a lot of things that might be needed, even monster effects. I think I Ghost Ogred a Taie against a Sword Soul player, and he really couldn't do much after that. And lastly, for the spells, I play 5 more cards. It's going to be 3 E-Tellies because the card summons any of the baby punks, so it's free summon, free search, and you get to take some life, you know, what the deck wants to do. And then I main 2 Triple Tactics Talent. The card is really good right now. There's no reason not to play it, and you're playing a deck that most people are going to interrupt if you get another turn. So there's no reason not to look at your opponent's hand, draw 2 cards, take their monster. There was a game that I took a player's Zeus, and I made a Psychic and Punisher, and I literally attacked for game. So there's no reason not to play cards like Triple Tactics Talent in the main board. Moving on to the extra deck, I am playing 1 Rising Carp. I don't feel like you need to play any more than 1 Rising Carp. Rising Carp isn't the full combo of everything. Even though it allows you to make everything, you can still make full combo without the Rising Carp. It just doesn't allow you to see as many punks as you want in the grave or the field. Then I'm playing 2 Amazing Dragon. Amazing Dragon is too good not to play at 2. A lot of times the first one will get stopped, or they will, in case you just can't break their board with the first one, the second one is guaranteed to do what you needed it to do. So there's no reason not to play 2. Same thing with Jam, Drag, and Drive. We don't have many level 8 synchros that are good for this deck that I think are better options just than playing a second Jam, Drag, and Drive. There aren't a lot of times that I summon it, but that's how much of a flex spot that you have that you can play 2. There has been, actually at locals, there was a couple of games that I did summon it a second time in like a game 3 and make Psychic and Punisher with it, but you generally don't need the effect on the second summon. And then for the Gold Pride cards, I'm playing 1 Star Leon and 1 Nitro Blaster. You don't need any more than this. They recycle themselves so much that, like, you know, there's no reason to play more than that. If these get stopped, I'm more than happy with that. That means that they did their job, and I'm still making punk combo. So, am I really losing anything? Not at all. For the Honorary Punk card, I am playing 1 Psychic and Punisher. Psychic and Punisher is too good of a card. I summoned it against a Dino player, game 3, and I had 4,000 life points. He was at 8. The card by the end of my turn was 7,500. By the time he got to his turn and he was trying to find a monster to summon, he couldn't summon a monster big enough that would be able to attack into it to make it affected, because it would become 11,500 damage, meaning that even if he summons UCT, he is taking exactly 8,000 damage, and he couldn't break it. It was GG just from that alone. I am playing one Cheng Ying. Cheng Ying does come up. Cashier banishes a lot. Sword Souls themselves do tend to banish some, so you can make this card pretty decently big. Your Extreme Sessions banishes as well, so you might be able to get like 1 or 2 banishments off of that. D-Shifter is still around, so you know you can make this card pretty big. Baronne de Fleur, I make this card going first a lot as long as I see the Fenrir, which means that I am avoiding the Nibiru, and Nibiru isn't going to affect me as much if I do see that Baronne. There's even times that I'll just summon Baronne and kind of just pass, especially if I'm going like second. I might just like attack something, break the board a little bit with it, and then pass my turn, because of how strong it can be in this deck. Scarlet, I am playing Scarlet just in case I go into time, because I'm not really siding too many time cards, so being able to summon a level 8 synchro monster that can burn my opponent to make sure that I can go in for time is really huge, because as long as I can get to a battle phase and burn them, I pretty much win in time. I'm playing one Hope Harbinger. Hope Harbinger doesn't get summoned as often, because generally you're not using your level 8s for an Exceed, which is why I don't play more of an Exceed package, but it is still there in case you're playing against something like Runic or Kashtira. If you really can go first and you can spare the extra level 8s, then it is something that you can make, but I don't always see fit with it. For the links, I'm playing one Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is kind of gimmicky, but I really like it, because if you summon a Rising Carp underneath it, you get a free tutor back, and that can be really huge, because you can summon back your Shirakuzai and then make another play and extend even further, which sometimes is just really cool but not needed. I play one Dark the Dark Charmer. We do play Ogre Dance, which is a Dark that you can summon to link off and take a branded player's Bestials or Albaz, or even a fusion monster in the graveyard, and any other decks that do play Dark, so like it's still really good in the meta. And then I play one Access Code Talker. If I can't break your board with everything else that I got, I'm gonna make an Access Code Talker, and I'm gonna break it anyways. But generally I don't really summon my links too often. This deck doesn't really, like, it doesn't utilize it as often as you would think, but utility is utility, and you can never ask for more. For the side deck, I am siding 2 Chaos Hunters. Chaos Hunter is really good. I sided it against a Runic player, I sided it against a Kashtira player, and they both kind of just looked at me and said, why do you want to watch the world burn? It's a good card. I am also playing 2 Lava Golems. Lava Golem helps me break a Kashtira board, a Sword Soul board, just pretty much everything other than Labyrinth, because Labyrinth isn't going to put more monsters on board for you to be able to break it. And truth be told, with Labyrinth, you're not worried about the monsters, you're more worried about the traps, because if they have set cards, you can't really target Lady anyways, so it is what it is. I am playing 2 Dark Ruler No Mores. Dark Ruler No More is still really good. I don't side it as often as I used to, but the card is undeniably good, so there's no reason not to play it. Especially when you have a deck that pretty much does everything you want it to do, you kind of have a little bit of free space. Then for the Spice, I'm playing Psychic Eraser Laser. What this card does is it sends a monster that your opponent controls that was special summoned from the extra deck to the graveyard. Your opponent gains life points equal to the original attack of the monster, or defense, whichever is higher, I believe. Yes, whichever is higher. And so as a Punk player, making Psychic and Punisher, you don't want to burn your life even more than you already do, but giving your opponent that life points can mean all of the difference, because now you can just one-shot over something because of all that extra life points that they have. and he's going to gain extra attack. And then I am playing 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and 1 Change of Heart. These are just to be able to break like Trap Tricks or Labyrinth boards. The Change of Heart, that's where I took the Zeus with. I had it on turn 1, game 3 against Castira. He makes Zeus after I made my board and he broke it. And I look at him, I draw the E-Telly, I activate the Change of Heart, I take his Zeus after he blows up the board, and then I activate E-Telly for game because I'm gonna make that Psychic and Punisher. Then for the rest of the side, I am playing 3 Evenly Matched. This card breaks boards. It basically says your opponent doesn't play any more Yu-Gi-Oh! And it is a huge advantage gain just by activating this card. Either you're going to get it negated or you're going to get rid of their field. Either way, you kind of plus in the situation. For the last 2 cards in the side deck, I am playing Dimensional Barrier. Last format, we didn't really see D-Barrier too much. The card was still really good, but we didn't see it. In this format where there's so many decks playing so many different extra deck monsters, it's kind of needed. I sided it against Runic Sprite in game 2 and 3. Game 3, I ended up seeing it. Unfortunately, he had the Evenly, but I activated the D-Barrier in order to make sure he couldn't make any Xseeds. That way, in case he had a play, he doesn't have a play anymore, and then I can go into my turn and potentially just take the game anyways, because if I can make sure he doesn't play, I can guarantee play the next turn, especially with most of the hands that you have. Going into your second turn, you have a lot of resources because the deck draws and searches so much. Other than that, guys, I really got to thank you guys. I want to thank Callie for allowing me to use his setup, because yeah, this deck is just so fun, and I just want to showcase it to you guys. I know you guys are always asking for an update, and with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching another deck profile on my channel, Top Deck TJ. It is always a blast to show you guys Punk and very much what they can do, and I will see you guys on the next one.